wanted to do an overview on my 2000 Honda Civic DX. I ended up getting a four-door 2000 Honda Civic as my first car. I bought with my own money at 18 years old. The first thing I did is I put these awesome white 17-inch inky rims. I'm a self-proclaimed ricer. You know, I thought it was so cool. I put some really cheap eBay coilovers, and the main reason I bought the car is because it had tinted windows. This car is actually an automatic. I bought it with low miles, and it's actually an AT auto. So these are actually really shitty pictures. So this is the car I used to drive. I drove an 84 Honda Civic hatchback. That's why I got the ladies. Sorry for the small photos. I'll try to zoom in. These are actually taken. This is really long ago, from I think 2006 maybe. So this is like my 10-year anniversary I'm coming across. So I had 17-inch Inkies, just lowered stock exhaust, nothing crazy. AEM license plate. I thought it was so cool. Tinted windows. And yeah, so the first thing I did was, I don't know how good you could see it, I modified my D16Y7. These run at 106 horsepower. I put Noology spark plugs. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. It's just, yeah, here we go. So I put these Noology spark plugs, kamikaze header, no cat, and an AEM intake. You notice it's a Y7 intake manifold, a little eBay strut bar. I thought it was so cool. This is probably like not even putting down 100 horsepower, maybe like 90 horsepower. You can see my little alarm over there. I was just like, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just an idiot, just spending every single penny I had in this car. I think I actually have an AM cam gear as well for my single cam, my non-VTEC single cam. I thought it was so cool. What's unfortunate is actually I ended up turboing this motor, and I don't know why I don't have any photos of that. As you can see, the car was an automatic. It had the ugly tan interior. I had a radar detector which got stolen out of my car. It has the original DX tack. I got a Pioneer. I put MD quartz. I thought it was so cool, but it was just wasting my money, you know. So again, here's my 17-inch rims with some shitty ass eBay coilovers. Drums. You notice that they're drum brakes in the back. I didn't really think about upgrading my suspension. I just didn't know about cars. Again, there's another shot of it. And then again, a shot. This is from a Polaroid camera. So kamikaze headers. I took it care of it. I kept it really clean. You know, original grill. And my car, I just dumped all my money into it. I thought it was so cool looking, the white and the green. We made like a little super racing crew. You can see I took a photo of my car. I kept the paint pretty good. It was a black and forest green. And me being the ricer I am, the first thing I did was buy cool Z3 fenders. This was like when Fast and the Furious just came out, the first movie, and Z3 fenders were cool back then, so I thought it was so cool. You notice that this is actually a little piece of double-sided tape, because the shitty eBay fenders, I got a color match or Earl Scheib. They actually did a good job color matching it. I ended up being stupid. I gave my fenders to my buddy. I never should have done that. I had to buy a different set of fenders because they fit perfectly with the car. Anyway, so I had Z3 fenders. I thought it was so cool. It still looked atrocious, right? And then that's me at a Walgreens Park. You see, I don't have the side skirt right there. And then I ended up ended up getting keyed. And I got a repainted gunmetal, a custom gunmetal color, which you'll see more of in future pictures. But I ended up getting the Z3 side skirts, and I double-sided taped that. I had GSRs. I painted them gunmetal, and you notice the fitment on my bumper isn't very good because these are like shitty Z3 fenders. They're not metal. They're like fiberglass. They look okay because the car is all the same color. I had a carbon fiber hood. I did the JDM headlights, and I think I had GSR leather seats. You can actually see them right there, GSR leather seats. And this is an Earl Scheib paint job. It's actually pretty nice. I got a lot of compliments over this shitty paint job. I ended up paying. I actually didn't pay anything for it. A kid keyed my car, and I caught the kid doing it, and the dad paid for the paint job. And then I ended up, I was a little bit more farther down. So this is when I put Rhoda C7s. I ended up slamming the car, carbon fiber hood. I had 3 carbon fiber hoods in my time. Fake bride seats, and just, you know, the gunmetal. And I got rid of the Z3s. I learned my lesson. I got a regular fender, but I ended up buying the fender and getting it paint matched, and didn't paint match exactly that great, so it looks good at night. I got a carbon fiber lip I put on myself, and a carbon fiber grill you can see there. So I was really into like the carbon fiber and gunmetal look with these bronze C7. And you notice I upgraded to cross drilled and slotted rotors. I was learning about my car a little bit. And I ended up putting a Grady kit on originally, and I built the motor to be better. I bought a bride steering wheel. This one I ended up parting the car out. long story short, this is my hood started to fade. This is when I was having motor problems because when you boost your motor, you end up having problems. So it's just parked here. You notice the lips still pretty low. Carbon grill. You can see my wastegate right there. Again, one bright seat, and this is a bucket seat. I end up going through seats pretty quick. This is my car with Buddy Clubs. Buddy Clubs, I think I forgot what they're called. They're polished lip, BFG drag radials, and you can actually see my full race bar. I'll get into the rest of my mods. I have more pictures. This is my other car. I had a 94 Honda Civic hatchback. And then we'll go to the interior. So the first thing I did was I replaced the steering wheel with a detachable Bride. It's an eBay knockoff. I had a boost gauge, fuel pressure. I did a full SI interior. I still had the shitty tan doors. This is a Buddy Club bucket seat. I actually didn't like the Buddy Club bucket seat that much. I preferred my fake Brides. They're more comfortable, but I ended up ripping my Bride because I daily drove my car. Let's go to a race knob. This is Suspension Technique rear sway bar. And then this is my exhaust. I got done this guy in Castro Valley, and he really did a shitty job. He just welded one piece of pipe. It was all rusted up. It worked fine, but you'll notice it's just like it's shitty hanger with the eBay muffler. It's nothing special. And I had to drill into my subframe to get this to work, but this actually made a pretty big difference in my car on the handling for a little four-door. You can see the back. I kept all my emblems. And then I was having a problem with smog. You notice that it's a little 6 here because my car didn't pass smog, and there's a BFG drag radials on it. And then this is my last turbo setup. So I ended up going with the custom spool and ram horn. I ended up upgrading the radiator. I had a fake Grady sticker. This car's kind of dirty right here, as you can tell. JDM headlights, which I did myself. Black charge pipe. Kragen thing. I had an AM fuel filter. This is a fuel pressure sender. I had a really shitty catch can. My biggest problem with this D series is I got it built by Redzone, and it blew the head gasket like 4 or 5 times. And this car was just a nightmare. I painted my engine bay myself. I painted this valve cover myself. This is when I had the NGK wires. I had the hot wires before, and I had the Hasport race mounts. And I don't know why I had this pulley when I never used it. As you can see, it's not even hooked up. I wasn't running AC. I had an AC pulley. I don't know why the hell I bought that. You can see my these are what were they? I can't think of my suspension. Omnipower suspensions actually later on. And then, so this is my turbo setup. I run an SC34 custom 3-inch downpipe DHM. This is more of the interior. I ended up putting a full SI dash. You notice I went from tan to black. I put a full SI dash. Summit Racing. I had a Viper alarm and I had a Clifford alarm. And this had, I don't know what to say. It's low jack, so you had to enter a code. Because my car got broken into non-stop because I daily drove it. And people just kept... that's the main thing I hate about driving this car. People always try to... It's like my fifth stereo. People would smash the thing and just break in. I had to take the steering wheel out. It was just not a good time to drive a modified car. But I had a fuel pressure regulator, SI. Mats, 2 racing seats going to a shift knob. And I'd keep changing stuff. So, nothing too crazy. But I miss the simplicity of it. And there's just a photo of it again. This doesn't really get my order. You notice that I changed my valve cover to black. And then I originally coated my valve cover. There's a picture of... These are not the best pictures. I didn't have a good digital camera. Oh, yeah. I had AM fuel rail. I had RC 880 injectors. AM fuel pressure regulator. The O2 sensor worked. Fluid Ions radiator. Skinny fan. Tile wastegate. Dub tube down. And then I had a exhaust with the E cutout, which ended up breaking so many times. Don't ever do E cutout. It's just not worth it. Just go full exhaust. And then I had a Focus 2 custom ported intake manifold. This is a Y series. I ended up making a 327 fully built motor. It had Darton Sleaves, JD Pistons, Wesico rods, a fur valve train. I should have made way more power. This is my tile blow-off valve, which is located by the tires. And then these are on the Buddy Clubs parked in front of my parents' house here. Again, that's a picture with a carbon fiber hood. I thought it was a cool looking car. This is my hatch. You see my hatch. My hatch, I put the GSR blades on my hatch. I daily drove this, and I drove this car as my weekend car. This is my sister used to have a Civic, too. So I had 2 cars, but the problem is, my race car would always break down on me. I couldn't really drive it anywhere. This is actually a battery charger. I was having battery problems. I had an alarm thing here. I had a kill switch right there. It's just once you start modifying your Honda, you just run into a bunch of problems. You can see, the suspension with the carbon fiber exhaust. I was really into carbon fiber. And then we have our BFG drag radials. With the Buddy Clubs and the full race traction bar, a little scuff on the carbon fiber, cross drilled brakes. These are just really low quality photos. Okay, these are some high quality photos my friend took actually, and made my car look really good. This is I think on when I had slipstreams. You can't really see the photos. This is like, these are Fremont somewhere, if I remember right. My friend has really high res photos of these. I gotta hit him up and get them. These are just stuff I found on my email. And then, yeah, this is when I had the slipstreams. My suspension, I put one tire up and it would stay in the air because the suspension was so good. It was I mean, it was a fun car. It was a really fun street car. Like these photos are like, I have some high res ones of these that my buddy took with his really nice camera. So I think it looked the best with the black slips. Or I really like my C8s. I'm a Rota guy, just like a cheap, rim. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, so I ended up getting a magazine in case you guys didn't know. July Honda Tuning 2006 or 8, I forget. You can Google it. They did a whole thing with me. You guys a photo of me in the car. And so this is when I had the manifold coated with heat coated. But the problem is, like, I had taken the turbo kit off so much, I ended up scraping the coating off and it looked like crap. So I just ended up taking the coating off. It just didn't look good. I had a polished valve cover. I borrowed these rims. These are Mugen NR something or others. I forget. I borrowed them from Jeremy from Redzone at the time. And then, yeah, so I did end up getting in a magazine. I didn't make the cover, but I got in a magazine Honda Tuning. And then this is my horsepower. This was on 15 pounds of boost. So I ended up making 321. And if you notice, we're only revving to 8,000. We could have revved more. I think my biggest problem I had is I should have O-ringed my block. This was like a really long time ago and people didn't know about O-ringing and the motors weren't, built with the same type of product. So my motor was fully built, but it was nothing but problems. And this is my buddy took some actually real good photos on my car. These are high res photos in my buddy's house. And then there's me. This is actually me at Treasure Island, my goofy ass. I'm polishing the car for my photo shoot. Look how dark I look. And then this is carbon fiber. You can see my intercooler. It's actually black. So it's a black intercooler. I don't know why I blurred my plates back in the day. It was like a big deal. This is when I had 2 bride seats. You notice I had 2 brides instead of the Buddy Club. I never bought a race harness. I always wanted to put a cage in the car and get it to go fast, but I just didn't have the funds because I was always working at restaurant jobs, just, enough to scrape by. This is actually in San Francisco. This is from the same shoot. You can see I have a little small dent here. Living in Oakland, I think like a car hit me or something, or it was like a BB gun or something like that. And then I eventually ended up getting a carbon fiber gas cover. I didn't like the way it looked. I have like the little plastic there. These are the Mugen rims. These are actually real Mugen rims. These are Jeremy's from Redzone I borrowed at the time. It made the car look really sweet though. I thought the photos came out great. They really made my Earl Shine paint job really shined. And this is again San Francisco. As you can see, my fender is actually a little bit different color. I don't know if you can see it or not. But yeah. Those are cool. I mean, I really miss this car. It really makes me want to build a car. Here's a really cool photo of the rims, if you can see it. So those are the Mugen rims. I polished them up. I spent like an hour polishing these things. Jeremy let me borrow them, which was really cool because these are like $1,500, $2,000 rims. And, he let me borrow them for the shoot because I had freaking Buddy Clubs or Rotas. They didn't want to shoot that. And then, yeah, it came out pretty good. You can see the fender fitment's a little better than my stupid Z3s. You can see the full race traction bar in the photo. And then let's go next photo. That's just an upgraded, same picture you saw earlier. And then that's a picture of the exhaust and then the Omni Powers with the upgraded things. You can see the full Omni Powers, no more shitty eBay coils. The car handled well. And this is, you can see my car's still forest green in this area, but these are the hood pins and the carbon fiber grill. It wasn't sticker, it was real carbon fiber. There's my tile wastegate dump tube. This is from Phil from Spoolin. And this is, I think, my magazine shot. You can see my SC34 turbo right there. So it's not, I mean, I had turbo, I ran a filter with it. My Grady kit, I am sucking up a screw and blowing it up. Milpitas at the street races like an idiot. I really regret that. Honestly, if I had to go back, I would just run my car with the Grady kit. It was so much fun. It wasn't fast. It was just so much fun. And ended up parting out the car. This is the intake manifold. I kept running into problems. Like you see stuff would break. And I didn't know how to weld. Like that was holding my fuel pressure. I was on the side of the freeway. I had to zip tie this. And then freaking, man, I barely made it home. I was leaking gas. That was really scary. I drove around with my intake manifold like that. That was not smart. I mean, I just ran into problem after problem. This is me at a car show. I used to bring it to car shows back in the day when J Brothers was in there. This is with the Rotas. And then as you can see, my car brought all the dudes to the yard. So all the dudes loved my car back in the day. The car shows didn't really have many girls. It was all dudes. I used to be really into like the car scene, going to car meets and all that good stuff. This is my buddy's car here too, Ray. That you can see the off coloring on my fenders here a little more. And then I actually did bring my car to the track, people. Believe it or not, I wasn't just street racing and claiming numbers. I ended up running a 12.5 at 115 with slicks with way too much air in it. I didn't really know how to use the slicks. I think I ran like, I don't know, I think like 16 or 17 pounds, like something crazy. You're supposed to run like 8 or 9 pounds on them. And I ended up fucking up my transmission at the track on my fourth pass. And then I had to drive. I didn't have a tow truck, so I drove all the way to Sacramento. I drove all the way home. I really love those Hoosier slicks. It looks so cool. I wanted to get into drag racing, but it was just too expensive. This is one of my first pulls at Tech 3. I think I made 301, I believe. Yeah, 301. This is one of my first pulls. 301, I think this is at 14 pounds on the Y7. So I was running a D16 Y7 fully built, SD smoothing 5. And then, yeah, a Tech 3 in San Jose. I don't know if there's no business. This is from the photo shoot. I changed to a blocks thing. You see my intercooler a lot better. They're double bright seats back in the day. Again, shot with my hatchback, shot at a show. Shot at a show, shot at a show. My fender coloration, you can really see it there. This is my buddy took these photos. You can see like my rock chips would hit my intercooler, so I'd constantly be painting this thing black. Again, this is me just kind of test fitting my slicks. I thought it was so cool. I would drive in the street sometimes just with my slicks on my car. I don't know what I was thinking. I just thought it looked so cool. Like, you just don't see slicks on a four-door every day. And this is a displacement from my turbo manifold got really hot, so you can see like the hood's starting to fade a little bit. This is like towards the end when I was running to like nonstop problems. Like my 5th or 7th head gasket had gone out, and this is like when I was still coated. So it just this is my hatch. I was just messing around. I swapped up the tires or something just to see how it looked. This is a complete stock hatch. This car was a piece of shit, but it got me from point A to point B for the longest time. This is in front of my buddy's house, and I just messing with the slicks there. And I think that's it. Well, that's my car. I just wanted to do a little Adobe video. Hope you guys enjoyed.